Hello, everyone. I love talking to you guys. I've actually really been looking forward to having some time off in between my jobs to talk about Bethanys' actual location that morning. That being said, it has been a little while since we've had this set up, right? You guys, I've been using the crop top for far too long, and I think this is just better lighting, right? iPhones are usually better than 10-year-old $100 laptops. That being said, guys, we're going to get right into it. I will try my very best to keep up with the chat. Hey, Nadine. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Wild Angels. Hey, Kathy. Welcome, guys. Oh, my God. The whole fam is here. Hey, Jamie. Your eyes is popping today. It's probably the different camera, right? Hey, RS5150. Hey, Don. Hey, Boo. Where's Suds? Where is Suds? Where is Hoppers? Where's my peeps at? Hey, Kitty Waffles. Now, hey, Jody. Welcome. Welcome, everyone in the chat. Remember to remain respectful. We can agree to disagree. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Robert. Now, remind me, because I sometimes get busy with like work, remind me to upload the pictures of Bethany Funk that I'm promising to share here with you guys. Before we get started, these are my theories, my opinions, and these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Now, when you guys see the pictures in the thumbnail, Bethany is seen walking into the driveway that morning, and she wasn't really stood next to Dylan or the others when the first officer arrived. Hey, my pal Sal. Hey, Jamie. Now, once law enforcement goes in the home with Hunter, we see the officer coming back to get the tape, and then you see that there is a car that is then parked after that, right? And it looks like Bethany Funk is walking towards the house. In her statement, her initial statement, Bethany Funk mentions that she called 911 but was struggling to talk. So she passed the phone to others, right? Now, we've seen people mention different comments in regards to these images, because we see her in these images and it looks like she's walking up from across the street. And I'm not sure why more people have not mentioned that. I don't know. We don't know where Bethany Funk actually was prior to her being on the camera footage. But wait, because I thought that on the 911 call that everybody was gathered round. I thought that everybody was together because they kept passing the phone around, right? Now, I'm rewatching the first body cam video, and I do believe that that is her walking up to the house. It looks like she is wearing all blue. Hey, as one divided we fall. Now, what's very interesting is that her statement and Dylan Mortensen's initial statements are not really the same whatsoever, right? Bonnie, welcome, Bonnie. Bethany never mentions Dylan Mortensen coming down to her room, which should strike us as odd, right? Never mentions Dylan being in her room. It's almost as if Bethany Funk has zero idea, zero clue on what actually happened. And it's almost as if she's making something up as she goes. It's really strange. And again, I think it's weird that more guilters haven't talked about this. Now, a lot of us objective, open-minded thinkers here have theorized a variety of things. One of them being that maybe Bethany Funk was not there. We also know that Bethany Funk was not questioned as heavily as Dylan Mortensen was. I also do think that it's very strange that although Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen were allegedly at 1122 King Road, the person that they questioned the most was actually Emily, Hunter Johnson's girlfriend. She was questioned harder and heavier than Dylan and Bethanys. Bethanys and Dylan were treated with kid gloves from the early days, right? Now, as I'm rewatching this first body cam video, I think that that's her walking up to the house in all blue. But again, Dylan and Bethanys' clothing is a little bit confusing, right? Because they both have loose fitting pants on. They're both wearing navy t-shirts that had writing on them. Now, only the pants were actually of different colors. But when we see Bethanys in this footage and she's walking into view when the cop goes to get the crime scene tape, and she's with who I presume is JM. So either Bethanys was waiting on the side of the road for JM to get there and we cannot see her, so she's been somewhere potentially and arrives back when LE are in the home. Bethanys, again, does not seem to be questioned as much as Dylan, even afterwards, right? Dylan seems to have had way more interviews than Bethanys Funk. So again, we have to ask, what was Bethanys Funk's actual location? Now, what's also very strange is that we've heard law enforcement mention time and time again that they pinged Bryan Kohberger, that they did X, Y, Z, that they tracked him, they followed the cell phone towers, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And we've read Becca Barlow's statement, and Becca Barlow, if you don't know who she is, you know, she's been heavily involved in this case from the early days. A very intelligent woman, a scientist, a lawyer, and she's mentioned the discrepancies regarding cell tower data, right? But what I do find that is very strange is not only how quickly Dylan and Bethanys were cleared, but also that their phones were actually never tracked. Now, what's also very strange to me is that because they were so involved in this case, indirectly or directly, or at least they were at 1122 King Road, right? We can allegedly placed Dylan and Bethanys at 1122 King Road, according to their own statements, according to the legal documents we now have access to. They were at the home. Where in the home were they? Because it is 2025, guys. It's almost 2026. Our technology is actually quite advanced, and we can actually track people's movements inside of the home. So why would law enforcement just jump into immediately clearing these two? Of course, as somebody, a lot of us here have psych backgrounds, we understand bias, but not only that, right? You should actually have data to prove that these two women, where were they? The fact that they took 8 hours to call law enforcement is extremely concerning. You can't just clear someone just because. So we have the technology. It is 2025. And even then, 2-3 years ago, we still had the technology to be able to track movements inside of people's homes. When you are carrying your phone around, guess what it is doing, babe? It's literally tracking your every move. It is tracking your every footstep. And now we also live in a time where a lot of young folk, people in general, are wearing other bits of data collection devices, technically, right? So what am I referring to? I'm referring to smart watches. A smartwatch is gonna tell us, were they sleeping? Were they not sleeping? How fast was their heart beating? How much movement were they getting at that time? Were they actually not moving? Were they moving from the hours of 4 to 4:20 a.m.? Do you see how it is very strange that none of the technology that we have access to was utilized in regards to clearing anybody, especially Dylan and Bethanys Funk, because again, these were both allegedly there. Now, again, it confused me at first with their faces being blurred because we have Dylan and Bethanys, they're dressed very similar except for the different colored pants. But when you see the video and somebody is walking onto the drive, I first thought that was Dylan and she'd walked over that way when law enforcement went inside with Hunter, right? I wondered where she had got her shoes from in those 3 minutes. So maybe Bethanys just was barely out of view of the body cam when he first arrived, possibly waiting for Jenna to pull up, but I'm just guessing. I want to know, where was Bethanys Funk, right? But when we look closely in this footage, that is actually Bethanys. That is actually Bethanys. And just like the vehicles that we have seen in some of the images where it's first there, then it's gone 3 minutes later, where's it come from? Who does it belong to? We definitely see Bethanys Funk walking across from the street. So again, where did they go? Where did they go? Because all of these newly dropped documents are telling us that the girls, which should have been treated as suspects, because they were in the home and they didn't call 911. They should have been treated as suspects. They were not keeping tabs on them, right? They were not keeping tabs on them whatsoever. In fact, Emily told us in her interview, very blunt interview, that they were allowed to go back and grab clothes and change. How long were they gone? They were not escorted by police also. So where did Bethanys go? Again, this is a crime scene that has been contaminated. This is a quadruple homicide. Allegedly, these things don't happen in Moscow. But this is definitely Bethanys walking from across the street. And I didn't think Dylan had any shoes on at one point. We do know now that Dylan's bedroom had what in it? Items covered in red fluid, a blanket covered in red fluid, a pair of shoes, allegedly Vans covered in red fluid, all kinds of other items covered in red fluid. Is that why she was not wearing shoes? Now, all of this goes back to the document early on where it stated that Bethanys Funk had exculpatory evidence, right? And the way Ann Taylor's team wrote it, it sure seemed like Bethanys Funk was not there. And a lot of people were questioning it. In fact, we questioned it in this channel from the early days. Is it possible that maybe she knew where Bryan Kohberger was at, or maybe she knew where Dylan or the victims were at? Again, we know per Bill Thompson and per the state that Mr. Kohberger had zero connection to any of the victims, but it was never told to us that he did not have any connections to the survivors. So is it still possible that maybe Bethanys Funk has this exculpatory evidence again? And if she does, is it because we cannot place her at 1122 King Road, right? But reading everything, analyzing all of this footage, makes me think that Mr. Kohberger would most likely would have been found innocent, right? But we know that the judge is, in my opinion, a corrupt judge, not only based on this case alone, not even because of that. When we track back previous instances, we know that one of the judges has previously sided with corrupt law enforcement. I've talked about this heavily. I've also stated several other cases not involving IDAHO4, not involving Bryan Kohberger, where Moscow police departments, hence the Stickergate incident, where they showed the world that they were a corrupt police department. And again, they got nothing except a little slap on the wrist, right? That was it. So we have to question everything. We have to question, where was Bethanys Funk actually at? We know that there is bias, and there was bias against Bryan Kohberger. There is still bias against Kohberger. We still have Olivia Gonçalves spewing hateful lies, hateful narratives. One of you guys sent me this horrific thing. I was not able to verify if she actually said it, but you guys shared with me that she is out there talking smack about the Kohberger family, talking about there being some inbreeding. That is disturbing. Why? Because even though we know the G-Fam is full of hatred, full of venom, they are poisoned at this moment, and we can say it is grief, we can blame it on whatever else, but the point is that they are poisonous people. They're spewing venom because they have this hatred towards Bryan Kohberger. Again, we don't know. I don't know if Bryan Kohberger did this or not. I've told you guys I'm an open-minded person. Show me the evidence. I'm okay with changing my mind. If Bryan did it, Bryan did it. I have no no horse in this race. So it does not matter if he did or not to me. The point of these videos are to show that there is not enough evidence. Touch DNA is not enough evidence. Cell phone pings are not enough evidence to place them there, right? Very concerning. Now, I read somewhere, and I can't recall where, that maybe, just maybe, Bethany Funk could have been picked up by JM, right? Because according to their phone activity in the morning, JM is messaging Bethany asking if they need to be picked up, and JM is also at the same time trying to call Dylan, but she does not answer the phone, right? Now, I always thought it was Dylan that talked on the 911 call and then hands the phone to Josie. It's hard to tell. Their voices, in my opinion, are very similar. It sounds like they're acting. It sounds high-pitched. And did they hand the phone to Josie? It's weird. Where did she go? And why did JM ask if they needed to be picked up? Why was JM asking Bethany if she needed to be picked up? Where was she? Where was she? Why would they need picking up? Both girls were messaging with JM, which is odd, right? Because law enforcement made us believe that both girls were sitting in Bethany's room. If they're both sitting in Bethany's room, why are they texting each other, and why are they both texting JM at the same time? That's odd. There would be no need for that, right? Because if one person is reaching out to JM, why would they both need to reach out to JM? I don't know. I know that JM originally said, do you need me to come pick you up? Maybe that was a little bit earlier. Maybe she came over earlier, got Bethany, then they both got back just around the time we see on camera. But the point is that in this footage, we see Bethany walking from, where is she coming from? Where is she coming from? And I'm pulling up the documents here. And it looks like the first text from Jenna was at 11:21. So again, this is strange. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Is it strange that they would even need to be picked up? Is it strange that they were both messaging JM at the same time? And if that's the case, and Bethany is leaving, at what point does the 911 call get made from her phone? Thank you so much, Too Fast for Fleas. $5. Flowers or caffeine? Caffeine. I don't know. That's a hard one. My flowers are dying. Thank you so much for the $5. It means a lot. Again, if that's the case and Bethany's leaving, at what point does the 911 call get made from her phone if she's showing back up after the police are already there? See how that doesn't make sense, Ginger? Ginger gets it. You guys get it. And I could have sworn my pal Sal, is it somebody's birthday? Happy belated birthday to Dolphin. Dolphin? Whose birthday is it? Happy birthday, y'all. I thought that they asked law enforcement if they had a defibrillator. Wasn't that a thing, or did I make that up? I don't think I made it up. At least that was a rumor, right? Hadn't somebody asked law enforcement if they had a defibrillator? Because there's a woman on the phone who's asking someone and then says she has one. Well, who is the she was referring to? Because I don't recall. Joyful Dolphin, it's your birthday? Oh my gosh. On the 23rd of October, I'm assuming. Happy belated birthday, babe. Happy belated. How old are you? Let me know. Don't be shy, because we might be old, but we look good. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We look good. We feel good. And that's all that matters, right? I don't remember seeing women, any female cops in any of the body cam footage. So maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I misheard. Thank you, guys. Thank you, my pal Sal, for the kind comments. My pal Sal, you're amazing. Always telling people to give the video a thumbs up, which, of course, I appreciate and helps the algorithm. Some of you guys taught me about hyping videos. I had no idea what that was, because the only thing I do on YouTube is come on here, hit go live, and then turn it off. I have no idea. But apparently you can hype the videos and it kind of promotes the channel or the video. So if you guys can hype the video, of course, I'm going to appreciate that. Thank you guys for hyping the video. Let me know how that works if you guys know how to do that. 51, girl, get it, girl. I'm sure you look amazing. I'm sure you do. So who actually made the 911 call? Because I thought that she was with Dylan making the 911 call. And Hippler thought so too, right? Hippler thought they were together. From Hippler's document, at 11:56 a.m., Bethanys Funk called 911. Hey, Blake made it. Oh my gosh. Hey, Blake, I still have your flowers and they're dying. So with that $1.99, I'm going to go buy myself another flower. Thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate it. So kind, guys. This is Hippler's documents. At 11:56 a.m., Bethanys Funk called 911 from her cell phone and spoke to Carolina Calvin, the 911 dispatcher. The call lasted 4 minutes and 11 seconds. During the call, the phone was passed around to different individuals, including Bethanys Funk, Dylan Mortensen, Hunter Johnson, and an unidentified female speaker. Heaving, breathing, and crying can be heard throughout the call. Bethanys Funk spoke first, stating something's happening in our house, and we don't know what. Bethanys Funk attempts to provide the address of the house to dispatch, but could not continue. At that point, the unidentified female speaker took the phone and provided the address and Bethanys Funk's phone number. Again, this just makes it more confusing, because who made the 911 call? Who actually made the 911 call? We've been told a variety of things, right, Patricia? Was it Dylan? Was it Bethanys? It sounds like Dylan's voice, and then the phone gets passed to Josie and then Hunter. But the weird thing is that the 911 call is allegedly being made from Bethanys' phones, which doesn't even make sense if she's seen in this footage walking up to the house after the police is already there. So again, where was she? And even if she just went around the corner, why are they not watching her closely? This is a crime scene. They're allowing people to go up and down. People that, again, should have been treated as suspects. Why? Because they failed to call 911 for 8 effing hours. And not only that, but they were actually allegedly inside the home while this crime was taking place. 4 people horrifically unalived, 50 plus stab wounds, one person, 20 plus stab wounds, the other. One's face was completely destroyed, unrecognizable, beat to a mash. Then we have a male who's carved from head to toe, like as if he were a turkey. And then we read the autopsies and we see that a couple of people had very fractured skulls. So this was not, they were asleep and somebody just bashed their head. This was quick. Like they made us believe in the beginning that this was quick. They were shanked while they were sleeping, and that was that. No, this was a horrific, violent crime scene, and I have some some images that are not, you can see the red fluid. Okay? It's messy. It's messy. It's not blurred. These images are not blurred. And the more I see that, the more we read unredacted documents that continue to be released. If they were both there, nobody called 911, we are having to ask more questions to the girls that were there at 1122 King Road while the crime was allegedly taking place. Because this was a gory, violent, bloody mess. 80 plus stab wounds in total, slammed, fractured skulls. Ethan, big man, tall man, athletic man, carved inner thighs, his legs, everything else. Okay, this would have been a loud crime scene, but Dylan didn't hear anything, right? And I'm trying to find Bethanys Funk's phone activity, which I will post on somewhere here if I find it. But I'm pretty sure that I remember seeing the call is made from Funk's phone, but it's Dylan yapping, right? And again, this all just has to make us wonder if she was even in the house when the crime was taking place. It's all really weird. That text from JM asking if they need to be picked up. Picked up from where? This is just more tomfoolery. Like, stop, right? JM is believed to be General McClure, but I'm not positive. I'm right. Right? I agree with you, my pal Sal. It's illegal not to call 911 right away to render help. And one of you guys reached out to me and you mentioned Deborah Patterson. Thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are wanting me to buy all kinds of caffeinated beverages, right? Thank you. I appreciate it. There's been theories from a lot of us on here. One of us is maybe Dylan and Bethanys spent the night in a nearby hotel. We know that that's a very common theory, that the girls were at a hotel because they knew something bad was going to go down in the house, right? And somebody else had posted a still shot from a video showing what looked like to be one of them walking back to the house in the very early morning hours where it was still dark out, holding Murphy. I wish I could recall where I saw that, but we don't know who is that actually walking. And the problem with the footage is that we can't trust it. With AI now, I one of my pet peeves, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because we're a family. I'm gonna be honest with my family. I hate when people send me audio or video footage because I have no way, you have no way to verify if it's legit. There is so much fake, made up BS footage out there. And they're like, Nika, look, this is Dylan. This is what we don't know if this footage is believable. The point is that whether it's believable or not, it is still a possible theory. Because again, people asking Bethany if she needs to be picked up, right? My phone's gonna die. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So please, guys, use your noggin. Obviously, question the footage. And please don't send me any more footage to analyze. I know some of you guys have good intentions, but I'm not going to spend my precious life, my precious moments analyzing footage that I cannot 1000% verify isn't made up, right? It's not the smartest use of our time. Now, I don't know if anybody else has noticed that on the 911 call, Bethany says something just happened in our house and then corrected herself saying something happened in our house. I'm not saying she did anything, knows anything, did anything wrong. Sure, we could say she was traumatized, giving her the benefit of the doubt. But I've heard other theories saying that Dylan maybe cleaned up and got rid of any rugs that were possibly in the home. Of course, we have to take that with a grain of salt. Again, these are just theories. We have to take that with a grain of salt. Right? Deborah Patterson, thank you so much. Get caffeinated, love. Thank you. I appreciate it. I actually have a cup of coffee right here. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Take it with a grain of salt, right? But I don't know. Is it possible that maybe neither Dylan nor Bethany are at the house the morning of the event? Is that even possible? Is it possible that the 911 call is a staged performance? Because words are one thing, but body language and tone of voice are a different thing. In my opinion, the 911 call seems staged, right? That's just my opinion. Now, what would be the point of having a staged 911 call unless you're trying to purposely cause confusion? Unless local police department are part of this conspiracy. Of course, if we know the history of the families, and we do know the history of the families here, because I have talked about most of them in depth for 2+ years now. If we know their involvement with notorious criminals, this whole IDAHO4 situation is not that surprising. We know that 2 out of the 4 victims had family members flip on rug dealers. Rug dealers. These are not small town rug dealers. These are the Aryan Brotherhood gang, okay? One of the most powerful American cartels in the country. And what happened soon after the IDAHO4? Jesse James Bailey, the leader of the Aryans, was arrested. One of the largest rug busts in history. And here we have 2 out of the 4 victims, family members flipping on these powerful rug dealers. And then we follow that and we know that there were other arrests soon after that, right? Is this why the cover-up is so extensive? Is this why evidence was destroyed? Is this why the autopsy reports seem falsely stated? Is this why we're going to top it all off with a crime scene that doesn't exist anymore? Is this why we're going to top it all off with a crime scene that was quickly destroyed before there was even a trial date? Also, remind me again of the evidence that links this unaliving to Ryan Kohberger. Oh, wait, that's right. All the evidence was destroyed, right? All the evidence was magically destroyed, right? Yeah, that fridge, that refrigerator in the police department that magically broke down. Oh, all the DNA destroyed. Oh, that warehouse that magically caught on fire, that was also holding evidence, magically destroyed, right? Again, at some point, we have to realize that some things are no longer a coincidence, right? Instead, we are seen as conspiracy theorists because we're wondering, how did you let all that DNA in that refrigerator? How did you let all that DNA go to waste? How did that warehouse magically catch on fire? Suds, you're late. I was asking for you earlier. I'm glad you made it. All of this stuff getting destroyed. Instead, we are asked to take the Moscow police and the prosecution's word on this. Wow. Wow. Now, I'm going to give Bethany Funk still the benefit of the doubt. It's possible she didn't realize the gravity of this situation and maybe walked briefly to a friend's car, maybe did a lap around the block. Maybe she was processing, sure, whatever. It doesn't mean she was or was not there overnight, or she was hiding the weapon or not, right? It's also possible that maybe it was JM's car pulling up. Again, they had been texting her, asking for a ride. You know, it's possibly JM's car, and knowing that JM was on her way over just before the 911 call would make some sense, although it wouldn't be the intelligent thing to do. You're leaving a crime scene, for God's sake, after you failed to call the cops for 8 hours. And I know that some people have mentioned that maybe she was hiding a weapon. I don't know about that. That's hard for me to believe. I feel like if she had hidden the weapon within walking distance, it probably would have been found by now already. But then again, you never know, because again, this investigation was botched from the get-go. We'd heard that they had so much evidence from three plus trash cans in the area, dumpsters in the area, and evidence destroyed, crime scene destroyed. Crime scene tampered with. So, I've been on here far too long. My gosh, time flies when I'm with you guys. Jamie, it's okay. It's okay, babe. That's all of us, right? Our mind is all over the place with this case. I think that's exactly what they want. Either way, guys, I gotta get going. Open your peepers. Hello. Hey, J Luna. Hey, Rex. Hey, Sophronia. Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Wild Angels Bucket List Adventures. I'm sorry if I missed any of you guys. I'm trying to keep up, but it's popping. Chat is popping off. So, thank you guys for joining me in today's live. Please do not vote in the chat, because it probably will disappear at some point. Vote, please, 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 in the comment section. If you think that Bethany was inside of 1122 King Road when the crime was taking place, please leave a 1. If you think that she could have been anywhere elsewhere, a hotel, wherever you think she was, leave a 2. And then if you want to share where you think she was, let me know where, right? Is there a way to contact Nika? Hey, MS, you can contact me on Instagram. My Instagram is always in the description of every video. So basically, once this video is done live streaming, I will add all that information. Or you can go to other videos and you have my Instagram information there, and you can message me on Instagram. But if you're just coming on here, please, you can send me information, but I do not review footage or pictures, because there is no way of us knowing if it was edited or not, right? So there's a lot of channels, I've noticed a lot of channels even on TikTok, creating fake documents, fake videos with fake noises in the background. Use your noggin, guys. You're smart. Use your noggin. So thank you guys for joining me in today's live. See you guys soon.